I'm Rebecca.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Nessa.
This is the Family Showdown! Ora peeps, how's it going? You ready for some Rosenberg goodness? We're gonna talk about one of the coolest board game designers tonight, Uwe Rosenberg.
So,
at least in my estimation.
So,
and maybe his too.
So, there was a bit of confusion.
On?
There's a bit of confusion. So, tonight was supposed to be a resolution night.
Don't!
And we completely prepared for Uwe night. And so we switched videos at the last second. So hopefully you found your way to here, and hopefully those that join will find their way here. If not, I guess they can watch it after the fact. I don't know.
What just happened?
Because there was a bunch of people in the other chat, and I was telling them I was shooing them over to this direction.
Oh no, it's broken.
So Uwe is probably our second favorite designer. Our favorite is Feld. We've done a top 10 Feld. Someone in our last resolution update, or maybe it was a top 10. I don't know. Somewhere along the line suggested we should do an Uwe
because Uwe's
list.
The bomb.
And my first thought was we don't have enough games, but then I looked and we've played 17 Uwe Rosenberg games.
That's pretty sweet.
17. We own 16. We played 17.
So we're probably going to repeato a lot of things.
Yeah, but they'll be able to judge by order, maybe, which ones we like the best between us.
I went ahead and ranked all 17. I mean,
I did not.
10. I have my top 10.
That's pretty cool.
There you go. Put up 2 future videos.
Yeah, I know.
Teach us to plan ahead.
I know.
No.
I don't know why I had it in my head that we were doing...
You were all about Uwe, man.
I was just jonesing for an Uwe list, I guess.
That's right. Weren't we all?
I don't have my list in front of me.
This was actually agonizing to build, though.
So you chit-chat, and I'm going to go get my list.
Hey, I'll chit-chat. So yeah, this was actually really tough for me to make, and I feel that if I go through and play some of the others again, that some of these are kind of interchangeable because they are just that good and solid. So this is just like Uwe Fun Fest in my book. Played 1 game for your resolution.
That's partially true. We would have 8 games to talk about.
We had 8?
That's not bad.
More than 1.
Next resolution update next week, we're probably going to have, I hope, like 15 or so to talk about.
Yeah, we secretly switched his sleep schedule with a board gaming schedule. Okay.
All right, folks. So if you don't know who Uwe Rosenberg is, he is notorious for making
what do you do?
agricultural-based worker placement games.
I thought you said he was running from the law.
He has a handful of other games, but for the most part, it's about making stuff, selling stuff, trading
feeding
stuff.
Feeding those people.
And feeding your people.
Or your cows.
Or your cows, or whatever. So he's very agricultural-based. Almost every one of his games that we've played, but 1, 2, 3 of the 17 we've played do not have to do... Well, they kind of actually... Some of those even have to do with agriculture, so... I think 1 game we've played, doesn't have anything to do with agriculture.
Patchwork?
Yes. Hey! Spoilers!
It's gonna happen. If they don't know the game by now...
Alright.
This is a great beginner.
Here we go. Our top 10, Uwe Rosenberg. Like Rebecca said, we only have 17 to pick from, so we're going to have lots of crossover, but I expect there'll be some differences in our...
shifting among the ranks.
In our rankings.
Whatever he put, I'm just going to poo-poo it anyway. Doesn't matter. He'll have the
exact
list.
Here we go, folks. My number 10. My number 10 is...
What is it? What is it?
It is...
Number 10?
Is a Reykholt. Reykholt is over here.
It must be on your side. Okay. Go Reykholt. Go Reykholt.
So we're gonna it's gonna be show and tell. Not only are we gonna have the game I guess we don't need the picture of the game, do we?
Look at us, overkill.
Unless we
talk about
we talk about a game that we don't own, but I don't suspect we're going to talk about the game we don't own.
I might later.
Reykholt.
Whoa, troll! We need to block Hector the turtle.
Reykholt sucks.
What?
I like Reykholt.
Oh, you are a troll, sir.
So Reykholt.
Clearly, you haven't played this game.
Man, I'm having a Sam Healy moment here.
What's wrong with that?
Because you can't look at the back and have the front.
You are so OCD. Just read it upside down.
So Reykholt is a farming game. You basically you farm. So basically, you build. I think they call them greenhouses. You make these greenhouses, and then you plant crops in those greenhouses, and over time they grow crops.
No way.
And then you harvest those crops, and you basically feed. There's like this track around the outside of the board, and the way you progress in this track is you have to turn in a certain amount of goods. So maybe you turn in 2 tomatoes and 2 mushrooms and 2 of these, and then 3 of something else, and you slowly work your way, and you're just trying to maximize the efficiency of your crops to get around the table. And it has worker placement as well, which gives you how you plant your things and harvest them and stuff like that. And there's also superpower cards you can get, and it's got cute little bins for your food.
They're so cute. Okay, this game is killer. It's a good brain melter because the early part of the game, it's like you need 2 carrots. You're like, I got this, and you're like marching through.
Right.
Next, it's like you need 3 carrots. You're like, okay,
pretty soon
I
you
gotta
need
plan
17
this.
carrots.
And then it's like, yeah, and then you need 14, and you're like,
no, it's not that high,
okay,
but you need like 5 or 6 of each.
Yeah, and it's not easy when your little garden grows like 4.
And it's a total race, basically, to see who gets the furthest along that track.
Yep. And, oh boy. But you get, like, a freebie. When you go, you get a certain number
you always
of
get one
tables.
free.
Well, as long as you move. As long as you're making movement and you move at least one, you get, like, a free table.
That you can skip.
Or you can kind of skip. But you got to really strategically plan that, because you might need those to make seeds to plant a garden later, too. And, I don't know. It's pretty good. It's tough.
One thing I like about this game is this is probably the lightest of his agriculture, like full-blown agricultural games, other than the 2-player. So for more than 2 players,
yes,
this is probably his lightest worker placement agriculture game.
Yep.
I need to think of a term for that. Uwe game. I guess that's just Uwe game.
It's Uwe.
So there you go. We'll talk about this more later.
Good job, Rosenberg.
What's your number 10?
My number 10 is on your side, and that is the Fields of...
Of course, you picked the one on the very bottom of the massive stack
Make
of
you
games.
work. Make you work. Fields of Arle. This game is so purty. It's unique.
Maybe I should transition
And that
more.
you have this monster box, and it is 1 to 2 players. And they say it's about an hour per player. I don't remember this taking 2 hours, though.
It's a pretty...
It's
as heavy as his other games.
Okay. It's just been a while
It's
since
heavy.
played, so.
It's heavy as Caverna and Feast for Odin and those kind of games. But this is designed specifically for 2 players. You can play it solo, but it's designed for 2 players.
And it's great because you get the heavy game feel and everything else without having to get a huge group of people to play, or a game group or whatever. You can actually play a 2-player heavy game, and I really like that. And it's another one of those along the same vein as where is it? I'm looking. Feast for Odin in those, where you've got all these different choices of things to do. So many different things to do, and it escalates like all of his other games. They start out where you're like, ugh, I can barely do anything. And by the end, you're chain reaction doing all these different things and feeding all these different things. And it's magical Rosenberg goodness. So if you haven't played it, it's worth a shot, especially if you like the heavier stuff.
So one of my favorite things about this one is it's designed for 2-player, because a lot of the other games like Caverna and some of those others, you have to kind of trick up the board and cover up spots, and there's certain areas you can't use and things like that. This one, you get to use everything that came in the game, and rather than pieces of the game.
Yeah, because that's one thing that is a bummer about when we play 2-player all the time. Is there's always those games that are like, well, this part's locked out or something. Not just Rosenberg, but a lot of games. Because, well, only 2 players, so you can't do everything. Well, this one's let
I
you
mean,
go crazy.
this games scale well at all players, but I do like the fact that it's designed for 2 players.
Open. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
We're running places to slide these things.
It's going to be exciting.
All right, onward to my number 9.
Stack of Rosenberg.
Number 9 is Nusfjord.
That's on your side, too.
Huh? Yep.
That's on your side, too.
I know. They're all on here, over here. I got all the good games over here. Well, apparently they're the bad games. They're at the bottom of the list. So, Nusfjord. Wow. So, this one's probably would be higher on my list, but it tricked me. So, when this game first came out, it was billed as a Uwe agricultural game mixed with a stock market game. So I'm like, what? Stock market? Uwe? I'm in. But it's kind of just barely stock market. It's just barely stock market. So you can buy stock in the other person's company, and then they just have to give you some fish every turn. That's it.
That's the kind of stocks I can get behind.
That's the extent of the stock market. There's no prices going up, prices going down. You just
throw fish on a plate.
You just get free fish. So fish is like the money in this game. So what I like about the game is you produce a certain amount of fish every turn. Let's say 10 fish, but then you have to pay everybody. So you pay your elders, you pay your stock people that own your stock. You pay this and that, and then you get like a little tiny bit left that you can actually spend and do things with. So
I just like that you have to feed the elders or they get cranky and don't help you and stuff. It's just funny. I love it.
So it's a cool little game. It's maybe on the lighter side
of his games.
Mm-hmm. But of his, again, the agriculture games. He's got some other lighter games. But I really like that. I like the fact that it's really, the whole thing is building that engine to get enough fish each turn to pay everyone and still have enough left over to do something with it. And you buy buildings and you get, like you said, you get elders which give you superpowers, and there's lots of cool things going on.
You have to respect your elders and feed them.
You have to respect your elders. If you don't feed them, they don't help you. You lose their superpower.
Yes.
So this is a fun one. I like it. Again, I think it would be higher if it had a true kind of a stock market. And I didn't expect some heavy stock market, but I expect prices going up, and a stock market prices going up and down, and trading shares and things like that. But it's just kind of just a little side thing that's in it.
Dan's got a point. When you play with a designer, hey Uwe, that's my fish.
Kind of it is. So anyway, there you go. There's Nusfjord. Oh, where am I gonna put it?
Right there.
Put it over here
on display. You're no
fun.
fun.
All right, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is over here, actually.
Oh, one of the crappy games.
Oh, you did not. There is no such thing as a crappy Uwe game.
Oh,
at least that I've played, Uwe. At the Gates of Loyang. So, this one is a little bit like Reykholt to me. Because you're getting all these little goods.
Yes, it's
and
very similar.
You have to balance the goods. But there's other stuff going on with this, too. And there's cards in this. They give you superpowers and let you trade and do things differently to help you, go on your merry way, getting goods and selling goods and all of this good stuff and building up your engine. It's a little bit different, but it's it has the same feel to me. And I really like this, though, because, Reykholt, the Gates of Loyang, it's different. We were so used to playing, Caverna and... Fields of Arle and Feast for Odin, that this was kind of something totally new and different. Once again, we have all his bright, cute little vegetable pieces and things. Those are always fun. But then you've got... See, look at this. You have a little path you need to walk. You must walk the path. But it's also got a ton of these different cards. And this is where you plant things, or you're going to get those things and they're available for trade and stuff. And you've got... Oh, that's right. There's loans. If you get stuck, there's always loans. I forgot about that. Yeah, a lot of his... And I always forget about that because I try desperately to avoid that sort of thing. But I really liked the way they had it set up where you've got these cards that, these are the things that are available.
Right.
This is what you need to do. So, he was talking to Reykholt, you're having a card that's a whole garden of one thing. These are varieties. You have to plan a little differently. Right. It's pretty fun. I like it.
Yeah, it's very similar to Reykholt. If you like one, you might like the other. The only difference is instead of just using your food to go around a path, you convert that into money. Yeah. And then you pay your way up the path.
Yep.
So it's very similar. I think this one's got a little more meat to it than Reykholt. So I think a lot of people say, someone said Reykholt 1.0.
It
kind of is. Reykholt's
though.
more of a lighter, streamlined version of this game, but I like this game quite a bit.
Yeah, and I don't know if are you talking about this one, Hector Loyang? I love the art in this in particular too. I think the art's really pretty. It's a cute game, fun pieces, beautiful art. It's fun to play. There you go. Reykholt 1.0.
I'm shocked we have no crossovers yet. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's done.
My number 8.
It'll happen.
Is Agricola, all creatures, big and small.
Oh, okay. It's so cute. Look at these.
So this
Chock full of goodness.
This is the 2-player version of Agricola. Well, kind of. It's based off Agricola. But spoilers. No, I won't say it. This takes Agricola and kind of pulls out the things I do not like about Agricola. So you don't feed your people. You don't have all this card play that's going on. It's basically it's basically almost, I would almost say could be called Caverna. Because basically you're building buildings and you're making fences and you're making, breeding tons and tons of animals. So it's like by the time you're done with this game, you just piles of animeeples all over the place, all over your board. Just tons.
Some more than others.
Yes. So this one was out of print for the longest time. I was able to spend some money and gather all the expansions, and then they came out with a reprint with all the expansions included.
Yeah, the big box thing.
So you can
get that.
You can
it's
get
cool.
the Agricola All Creatures Big and Small big box, which has everything in it. So this is a fun one. Like if you want kind of a easygoing, streamlined 2-player,
this is still a tight
Agricola
game. Really
or
tight
Caverna.
Game.
This could, like I said, this could just easily be called Caverna, 2-player Caverna. So
well, this is another one that amazes me because it's so little, but again, it has that just the Rosenberg principle where it starts out.
Rosenberg. Oh,
doesn't that sound so like?
Did not.
But,
the Rosenberg principle.
Come on now, that's
tell me what that means.
Well,
what is
it starts out where you barely can do one move, and then by the end of the game, you're doing like 30 moves. It's so cool. And
like, where am I going to put all these animals?
How am I going to do this? And this is like a little version of it, and it blows my mind because I thought, okay, this isn't going to have that. Because the game was super tight, and at first, we're barely going to do a few things. No, he's right. You end up piling up the animals if you want, or building all these buildings. It's crazy. I like it a lot. So much that I named a scientific, principle after.
Rosenberg principle. You're banging 2 sticks together. By the end, you have a horde of animals behind you.
And you're launching into space. Yes.
All right. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is on your side, and it's a monster, and it is a feast for Odin. Woo-hoo! And the camera shakes. I'm pretty sure we just had a small earthquake. Nope. It was just getting ready to feast with Odin.
Pull it this way, and that way it won't be in.
I don't know. I keep leaning and doing strange things. Sorry, but yeah, this game has so many. What is it, like 60-something choices? Insane.
Like
it's
64
insane.
choices.
It's ridiculous, and there's a billion pieces. Thankfully, they come with a nice little organizer tray, which is actually really nice.
So what are you doing in this game?
You are preparing a feast for Odin and playing a mad game of Tetris. So, with all these little beautiful, crazy, wacky bits. No, okay, this stuff is like their distraction. There we go. Here we're getting to the good stuff here. So, these are also 2-sided to save space because there's a billion components, apparently. But you get these little boards, okay? And you're going to Tetris these pieces in, but there's certain rules about how these pieces all fit together. For example, like if you have red, you can't have another red touching it. You got to have a blue or a green or something like that. There's all these different rules about how they can touch and not touch.
Food can't touch non-food.
Yeah, and just weird things like that. So you have to combine everything, and again, you want to fill up all the spaces because as you can see here, there's like -1, -1. Any of that's revealed, then you're gonna get -1.
Or food can't
at
touch
the end.
food.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Whatever.
Yeah, food can't touch food and things like that. So it's wacky crazy. Hold up. Oh, this is pretty tight as it is. there's all these pieces in this, some that are worth a whole bunch of victory points, but they're hard to get a hold of. Board full of choices. I don't know why. It can melt your brain, but at the same time, it is so much fun to try to figure out. I'm not good at it. I'm just going to say that right now. Hunter's over there, and he's like, oh, look at me. I've got, like, 2 extra board game, like, little slots, and I'm starting to fill those out. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't even finish my first one. You know, but I have a lot of fun playing it anyway. It's okay. I've actually improved since then, but that's kind of how the first few games went.
Well, the first game that we played, we were like, how do you even fill one board up?
Oh, yeah. The first game, it was like...
And the second game is like, I was on like my third board.
Yeah, you're like going crazy.
Like, aha!
Once it clicks...
Aha!
And it's pretty awesome. So, again, if you want a heavy, meaty, forgive the pun, game, Feast with Odin.
But what's interesting about this game is, heavy as it is, as much as going on in it, it plays really fast. It's one of the fastest.
That's true.
It's probably the fastest of the big box games.
The setup is probably long. No.
It's one of the fastest big box games of his. Like
it's
the
true.
Big thing. When I say big box, I mean the ones that are like.
He says 30 per player. That's crazy if you think about it.
So.
Because this is a monster game. But yeah, there you go.
So many games.
It's a beaut. Man, you guys are chatting it up in the chat tonight too. That's awesome.
All right, my number 7.
I love all
the first crossover at the gates of Loyang. I really like this game. This one's fun because I like that you can mess around with the other players some.
Yeah.
This is one of the few Uwe games where you can actually mess a little bit with the other player. You can kind of go over and steal out of their market and do some weird stuff. Most of his games are basically almost solitary, other than the worker placement of blocking other people's spots. But this one's actually got some interactivity to it.
Yep.
I like this one more than Reykholt. I think, like I said, Reykholt I think is a streamlined kind of I hate to use the term, dumbed down.
Whoa, you did not.
Dumbed down version of this
strategy is slightly different. I would argue that
this one's got more going on. I like the card drafting. That's in this game. This game has card drafting. The 2-player card draft is different than the 3- and 4-player card draft. Basically, the cards are out in front of you, and you draft and you add cards. It's a little bit tricked up, but otherwise, it's pretty much the same game. What's going on?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Continue.
You've distracted me.
Sorry, I know I do that.
There. Anyway, all that she said, better than Reykholt. She probably disagrees with me. I'm fairly sure she disagrees with me, but I like this one. This one was out of print for a while. Actually, what's funny, it was sitting in the local game store for forever, and then once I realized, ooh, I need to get that, it was gone. And then it came back. Luckily, it came back into print.
Oh my gosh! I was like,
TMG
what?
reprinted
That's
it.
Funny.
When did they reprint it? A couple years ago, 2018. So. Shiny, brand new reprint. TMG does a good job. They do great components.
They do. It's just really awesome. Awesome. Good job. Well played.
All right, what's your number 7?
My number 7, I think, is on your... Nope, it's on my side. It is the beautimousness... Actually, the lovely Glass Road. I'm sure we'll hear about this later. He's ashamed that it's so low, I'm pretty sure. This one, he's got a couple games that have this really cool rondel thing with resources. But it's got these little, for lack of a better, it's almost like arms like a clock on it. And they move for different reasons. And it affects how many resources you have.
Yeah, but this one's a little different.
This one's, yeah.
Once you, basically, it just tracks your resources, but when you get a certain number of resources, like you get one of every of a certain type of resource, it immediately takes all those away and creates one of a more advanced resource. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So you have to really watch that because it's an automated thing. So, but there's 2 dials, and one of them is tracking the regular resources, and then one's tracking those expensive...
No, there's one expensive one on each one. There's glass.
Oh, that's right.
There's
it's
glass
2 sets.
and
It splits it. Yeah,
beer
and then...
or something.
Yeah.
Booze. Some kind of booze.
Well, it's probably beer.
Beer?
Probably.
Beer and booze? Beer and glass, right? I don't know. Whiskey? Beer? Beer?
Alcoholic beverage. We'll go with that.
Booze?
Okay, so... Dear me.
Beer?
That's right. It has one specialty on it, so it tracks those things. I forgot about that. Yeah, they split them. So you really have to pay attention to how the dials are moving, and then, oh my gosh. So while you're doing that, there's all these things that you need to do that require all of these different combinations of the resources. There's enough, again, brain melty goodness where it starts out where you can only do like a thing, and then it escalates and it escalates. But this one is a longer game. I want to say. No, this isn't the long one. Ora Labora
isn't long.
Yeah, this one's much shorter. This for his heavier games, this is shorter. It says 20 minutes a player.
Yeah, probably a little longer, but yeah.
I think it runs a little longer than that, probably closer to 30. But it's another one that here. We'll just show you. I'm sure we're gonna look at it more later.
I know what you're talking about. I don't even like this
so
game.
Innocent. Yeah, whatever. It's another one that's got really pretty, cute. It's the same kind of art that I like. Yes, it is. It's cool. But here you go. See, here's a little dial, and you can see on it, it's got numbers and whatnot. So as you move it, that tells you how much of each resource you have. So as that moves, it's going to change how many resources you have. And it's got, you know, it's kind of hard to see these up close, so I can't, but they have cute little stickers with the resources on them to help track on there. It's got lakes. I don't know if you guys can see these, but the art's really pretty on it. It's got the lakes and forests, and you have to deforest things to build other things, but once you do that, you're not going to have the resource, so you have to really balance when you want to do those things, but you need to clear off your board so you can build more things, so eventually you're going to be doing it. It's all just pretty crazy. What are you making goofy eyes for?
You're smashing it. Whatever, you're smashing something.
Air bubbles? We're good. I think it's alright.
Glass Road.
It's cool. I really like this game. What are you doing? Oh, you're looking for something in particular? You gonna read the rules right now? Live? Thrilling. What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out what that's... Anyway.
Second thing. Oh, okay.
Glass Road!
That was an exciting rabbit
horrible.
trail for you.
Horrible
that game is not horrible. You love it.
My number 6.
What's your number 6?
I don't know. Let's find out. It's been mentioned. It is the Fields of Arle. We talked about this one extensively, so I won't talk about it too much. Again, my favorite thing about this one is that it's designed specifically for 2-player, because I find in a lot of Uwe's games, we tend to play almost the majority of our games 2-player, obviously. I always feel like I want to try it with everything. I want to do everything. I want to be able to. There's spots that are blocked, or there's board that we're not using, or there's something that's missing from the game. Almost every game, like Caverna, uses different boards and things like that. Le Havre, there's certain buildings you pull out of the game.
Truth.
Just things like that. Different games have different. Usually, it pulls back the game slightly to make it tighter. It's obviously you need a tighter worker placement game, and shortens the game too. Otherwise, if you have to go through all the cards to win, if it's 2-player, it's going to take forever, so they take a bunch of the cards out. This one, you use everything for 2-player, and that's by far my favorite thing about this game. So I'm not going to harp on it too much, but that's why I like it.
Oh, okay.
What's your number 6?
That is greatness. My number 6 is over on your side, and that is the great big beast that is Caverna. Woohoo! I like this monster of a game. I did not like it originally. Well, I can't say that. Originally, I did like this game, but it was so difficult for us to set up the game because it took so long, and this is when we were first starting to play heavier games, and it was like, there's all these pieces. So this was this our first insert? This may have been our first
insert. Yeah, I think
the first insert we invested in was for this game, and it literally saved this game for us because we were at the point where we're like, it's fun to play, but the setup, ugh. But with Broken Token insert, you just pull out trays and you're ready to go. Thank goodness, because this is one of those games that really needs it. Honestly, if Feast for Odin didn't have the little trays all set up, I don't think we'd play that game. Because it's just too much.
We love this game, but it's just every time we go, hey, let's play Caverna. You open up and there's like 25 bags of things. Whereas now
we can set it up and play it.
Now when we want to play.
And I love it. You have the 2 halves of your board. You've got your mines and you've got your farming and and all that, and ranching, I guess. And so you got those things going on, but you can also level up your dwarves and go on adventures to get resources and stuff too. I absolutely love it. See, look at that. Look at that beautiful tray of components. Woo! So you just pull that out. We're ready to go. Ah! Oh, look at that. He's making a mess. The tiles are all in here in nice little things here. The cards got a little loose. But all the pieces are organized, ready to go. You just pick what you need. Ready to go. Love it, love it, love it, love it. That took that 30-plus minutes down to, like, a minute.
Yeah, all the cards are organized in the way they would be put on the board. So if you're, you know, all the yellow card, all these, if you played it before, all the yellow guys are together, all the green ones are together, and the combo ones, and etc. All the mines, all the different things.
Totally worth it, guys. This one was worth it for us. Big time. We've played this game so many more times now because of this insert.
Yep.
So, save the game, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, again, it's got the cute little Uwe components and fun little critters, and just, I don't know, I like the upgrading the rooms, and you can go in, and if you decide you want to do the mines, you go in and do the mines. You can do all the sorts of cool things with the rubies, or you don't have to. What'd you do with the lid? You stole it. Okay. I just like that there's many different ways to win in this game. You don't have to go do a little bit of everything. It helps if you do a little bit, but you can master, like, I know one of your favorite things is like
sheep, 10,000 sheep.
Sheep farmer extraordinaire, and then he may not even build a mine with rubies in it at all, and he doesn't need to, and you can choose
you need
to
a
do
little
that.
bit of everything, but you can definitely focus in on one thing.
Well, but you can focus in too on leveling up some of your adventurers and get those that way instead of having to build the mines and stuff too. I mean, it's cool because there's different ways to get everything. So, I enjoy it. It does play much more quickly now. Win-win.
So, we do not have the expansion.
We like it like it is.
It's fine how it is. I'm starting to learn. Now, this may just be through experience or through being burned too many times. I'm finding that it is rare. It is rare when we get an expansion and we go, ooh, we always want to play with that. It is very, very rare.
We've come full circle.
Because we were buying expansions like crazy, but we're finding maybe not even 50-50. I'd say less than 50%.
Is it getting to be that now?
Less than 50% of the expansions we want to play with all the time. So I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to.
Are you guys having that? Are you guys having that issue too? I'm curious. Because at first, there was like a really good wave of expansions for, several years almost. And it seems like lately it's hit or miss. It's almost like people are slapping those in as a must-buy because they want you to buy more of their stuff. Right. And the expansions have not been as good. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Also, we repeat games so infrequently that it feels fresh when we go back to the games. I mean, some games we do play over and over, but there's a lot of games like Caverna we'll play it maybe two times a year, something like that. So when we go back to it, it feels fresh, and we're like, we don't need more. Now, I can understand if someone plays Caverna several times, they could say, oh, it's getting to be samey or whatever. Yeah. But we play games, repeat games so infrequently, I have to reread the rules, we have to relearn the game, for the most part. We pick it up pretty quick, but you know what I mean. And it feels fresh, so we don't need an expansion.
True enough. So there you go. That's my little...
So I rarely get an expansion. I do a lot of research, and if it makes the game better, and I look at it and go, wow, that is a really cool expansion, then I'll buy it. Otherwise, I'm like,
yeah, we're starting to taper off on that.
So there you go, Caverna. Yep. It's all right.
Yeah. See, David and Hector are saying the same thing now. It's just like now they're going after less and less of those things because they're getting you can get overrun with it, right? It does get to where it's prohibitive to playing and enjoying the game. I know with, like Splendor, and Hunter's favorite example, all of those expansions in Splendor, we liked, like, 2 things out of it.
Really just one.
And mostly just the one, but the other one. And then the rest of them were like, no. You know?
And I agree with Paul, what he said. That it does give you an excuse to play a game you haven't played in a while, right?
Yeah.
Like we played Dinosaur Island Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
And the reason we played it is because we
hadn't played
Totally Liquid yet. So
yeah, that's a good one too. And again, though, it's your faves, right? You tend to want to stick with your faves. I've gotten to where I only want to get them for, like you said, something that looks like it's going to be a total game changer. Just to get the expansion, to get it.
Or if there's a piece to the game, like you really enjoy this game, but there's this one thing that kind of you're like, eh.
And
if it fixes it or improves it or changes it up, then I might buy an expansion. But then that tells me, well, why didn't they have that in the first place? I don't know. Anyway, my number 5 has been mentioned. It is a feast for Odin.
Feasticus.
Oh my gosh.
That's the official
term. Heavy game. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy.
Okay, maybe we need to work out more.
So, this is what patchwork should be.
What?
This is my patchwork.
Your patchwork? You need help.
This is my patchwork. I usually don't enjoy the games where you're Tetrising things in for the most part.
I like it.
But this one has so much else going on with it. That's part of the game. It's a big part of the game.
Yeah.
But I like the worker placement. I like the resource management. I like the building of your engine. It's a good one. I enjoy this one a lot. But patchwork, I need a little more oomph, and this is patchwork plus.
I'm just feeling now that
maybe patchwork plus plus plus.
Plus. I'm feeling like this is the patchwork. You're that crazy old guy with the quilt that took like 40 years to build because you keep adding like little intricate things to it. So it's like, there you go. That's good ones. All right.
Feast for Odin. We talked about it. Move on.
Oh, yeah. Totally Sour Song talking about expansions that feel like they should have been there to begin with. Yep. I agree.
Yep.
That's a thing. That's a thing lately. And
I
bothersome.
think, honestly, and it's a sad, I think that's a trend in board gaming, is they take this game and they go, okay, what can we take out of this game and put in an expansion?
And make as an expansion, yeah.
I guarantee a lot of these expansions were made when the game was made, and they go, oh, we have 8 races. Let's take 2 of the races out.
Yeah, and make it
and make that the base game, and then we'll have an expansion with 2 more races. And I think a lot of designers are designing their games that way, which is sad, but I understand. They gotta eat.
They gotta eat.
They gotta eat.
They gotta eat. All right.
What's your number 5?
Number 5 has been mentioned before, and it is the awesomeness. For pretty much everything that Hunter said, I will spoil this. Agricola is my least favorite, and before you guys all freak out, I don't think that would have necessarily been the case, but kind of had it ruined for us, and it's really hard to come back to that game. And
you're spoiling my after talk here.
That
I guess I'll jump in now.
Takes all that's good. That's my favorite parts of what I did enjoy about Agricola, and again makes it a neat, tight, quick game with all the fun stuff in it. And it just blows my mind that they did this, and I'm so happy to hear that they reprinted this, because it was such a struggle for us to hunt down the last bits, because we're like, we really liked this game. We played it over and over and over. We played it a lot for a long time, and getting the extra buildings really made a difference, because if you just have the base game and you play it frequently, it can get samey because you just have those. It was very few buildings.
Yeah.
But with the expansion, and if you get that big box edition or whatever they have, it's got all that in it, and you don't have to worry about that. And the variety and the replayability just went through the roof adding those, which awesome. So we can still get crazy and play this over and over again and not get sick of it. And if you forget how things go, I love this because Hunter probably laughs, probably catches me staring during the game. It's got the little animal bonuses on the side of the box for the end game scoring, and for the life of me, why I can't remember that, I don't know. So I'll stare at this while I'm trying to plan my turns, going, okay, I gotta keep my eye on the prize, because if you don't get enough of the animals, you get negative points.
Right.
And so you've got to really, that's something, you can let people run away with the animals and do other things to get victory points, but you can't ignore the animals in this game, or it'll come back and bite you on your score. So there you go.
That's a good one.
I seriously love this game.
All right, my number 4 has been mentioned.
What?
We have lots of crossover now.
Well, I figured.
My number 4 is Caverna.
Oh,
Caverna,
here comes another earthquake.
We're back to Caverna. I'm not going to talk much more about it since we already talked about it. One thing I want to mention is this is probably the biggest. I don't know if offender is the right word.
Offender.
in terms of taking stuff away from the 2-player.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have specific boards.
That's true. I forgot about that. In fact, we play it so infrequently with more players, I forgot it has separate boards.
So you got all these different boards for the number of players. And the 2 players is the most limited, obviously. They have to do that to tighten up the spots, but...
I get it.
But, yeah.
But then we never... I forgot about that because we played with more players once. It's like... It unlocked all these different rooms and things that we had never seen. Yeah. Never, because we've only played it 2 players. It's so weird.
So anyway, I really enjoyed this one. Like she said, we played it quite a bit when we first got it, and then we just look at the shelf and go, oh my gosh.
It was so bad.
Because you literally we had like 20 bags worth of stuff that we'd have to open and put out, open and put out, open and put out.
Nope.
And then when we were done, we put them back, put them back, put them back, and put them back. This one, you just lay your stuff out and just leave it. Like the goods, we just leave in the goods tray. We don't even take it out. We just leave it there.
Nope.
The rooms are a little more, but we only pull those out as we need them, and it just made the game so much better.
Yes, Dean, we do have that many Uwe games because he's one of our absolute favorite designers, so we went a little 8. Oh, it's off screen. I just realized you can see the gaping hole, but it's up high in our shelving.
I need to flip our thing around anyway. I'll do a quick view since people are asking about it.
Yeah. And dun, 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 dun. That is full, chock full, and we have a few that are randomly scattered elsewhere too.
Yeah,
but
those are just the big boxes.
See those 2 holes? Those are full of games. I promise. After this, we'll be putting them back in there. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yep. Top 10 games to give as gifts. Hey, I'm not getting rid of my Uwe games. Troll.
All right, that's Caverna. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is going to make Hunter sad. Because I bet you it's his number. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't know. Maybe.
You have it over by you, I suspect, because it is one of your faves. The French Le Havre. There you go. The Harbor. This game, we just played this again recently, and it is a monster of a game. It's one of those, again, this was the first time we got to experience the Rosenberg effect of, okay, this turn, I'm going to get some grain. But now I have this building. Oh, look, I can make bread. Oh, look, I can feed my people. Oh, look, I can now get this and this and this and this and do all this stuff. Oh, and this boat automatically produces 5 foods, so I don't have to worry about that anymore, and this and this. And then, oh, look, my clay can turn into bricks now, and I can build more complex things. Ah, there's so many choices, and they're all good choices. And it's worker placement, and it's really tight. The turns are really fast. By the time you get through a round, you want to do 40 things, but you only get like 3 chances to do those things. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And we just played with the specialty.
Yeah, what's funny is we've played this game numerous times, and I think we've always picked the short game. I don't think we've ever played the long version of it. Mm-hmm. And then this last weekend we played it. We played the long version, and it was like, why haven't we been playing the long version?
Yeah, it honestly was kind of funny. I guess because this always seemed like such a meaty game. And this was one of our longer games that we had for a long time. So, well, we don't have time. Of course, at the time we got this, too, we had a teeny baby in the house. So, it was like, short game. Then we can still enjoy it. Yeah. Now, it's like...
Because the long version of the game is probably pushing 3 hours.
Yeah. And, oh my gosh, was that fun.
Yeah.
That was really fun. And it's... we don't have any crazy... Are there expansions for this?
We have an expansion in it. We haven't played it with it ever.
Did it come with it?
It comes with the mini expansion, the Grand Hameau.
Le Grand Hameau. All I can think is Hamu, the giant cow.
Hamu.
Oh no, it's a pig cow. I don't know what just happened, but yeah, so it's fun. Now, this one, as far as art is concerned, he's carting Agricola. Isn't that funny? Okay, the art on this, I think this would be a fun game to bling out, especially as much as like you like.
Well, they have upgraded bits on Board Game Geek, but but they look exactly the same except they're plastic. I'm like, I want cows.
Yeah, this is.
I want little pieces of leather.
Hunter goes to Michael's and starts tearing up some fabric. And he's like, no, they're two-sided. That's part of the problem. Like, the bread and all the info.
You can't turn your cow into a hide by flipping it over. Or a steak.
Yeah, it's got like, the bread is worth 2 food. And it says 3E. I don't remember. Is that, or no, 3F. What's the F? Franc. That's how much it costs. Okay, and then the grain is 1 franc, and that's when you trade it in or sell it or whatever.
When you send it on shipping lines.
Yeah. So it's got all this information on them, and they're two-sided. All of them are two-sided. So it's like, I don't know how
you
to bling this without doubling the amount of stuff you have.
Yeah, like I said, Working Geek just made little plastic chits. They're plastic.
But how different? I don't know. Is that different enough?
That's what I mean, and they were expensive. I'm like, I don't know if that's much of an upgrade. I don't know.
Someone find some ingenious way to make...
To flip over a cow and make it a steak?
Yes! Please! That'd be kind of creepy, though.
You like pull his legs and wrap it, and like flip it around and it becomes a steak.
Like squishy or something. Ah!
You turn it inside out and it's a steak.
But yet, like those kids' toys where you open it up and inside's a little steak. No, I don't know. I don't even want to know. And stuff that...
We might talk about that one later. Maybe.
Whatever. It's a good game. Love that game.
All right, my number 3. Has this been mentioned?
I don't know. Has it?
No, it has not.
What?
My number 3 is Ora and Labora. Ora and Labora. So this one is a really cool game. I enjoy it. So this one is like Rebecca said when we were talking about Glass Road. It has a dial that...
This one's crazy.
Does your resources.
This one gets crazy.
But the way the resources work in this game is each round, every resource you get 1 more of every resource.
It grows.
But at some point, you buy that resource or take that resource, and you may get like 7 wood, and then it resets back to 1, and it starts building and building and building again. So it's like a game of chicken, which I really like. It's probably even more
chickeny.
No, like cutthroaty with more players. But I go, okay, there's 5 wood. Do I take the 5 wood or I wait till my next turn and I'll get more? Or will she take it and reset it back to the start? So I really like how that works. Then it's got all the card play. It's basically you're basically taking cards. You put them on your tableau, and then the cards interact with each other based on their adjacency to each other. So, like, if this card's next to this other card, it does something cool. If it has adjacent over here, it gets lots of victory points. So it's you're building a tableau. You're doing a lot of resource management. Lots of cool things going on. I love this game. It's a good one. Ora Labora.
Look at you. You said it right.
With the Wheel of Fortune. We'll talk about this more later, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know if this will be on Rebecca's list or not. We'll see. She's gonna surprise me.
I might.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is over here. Oh, you put it on the bottom of all this heavy-duty gaming.
Oh yeah, I forgot how much you like this game.
I love them. Nusfjord. It's of some of his more like complicated moving around and having chain reactions of things and all that. It's on the lighter end. I think it's lighter than Glass Road. I think it's lighter than Arle.
It's his lightest. I think it's his lightest.
I think it's
Reykholt and this one of the agriculture games.
Yeah, are the lighter ones. And I thought because of that, I was like, I'm not gonna like this as much. I ended up loving this. Like, there's just something fun about, like you said, you get all this fish, and you're like, hey, I've got fish. Oh no. I forgot you took stock in my company. Oh, yeah. I have all these elders helping me. And by the time you're done, you're like, I have a fish. What am I going to do with this? A fish. But again, the Rosenberg effect.
Yeah.
You start
pretty soon you got piles of fish.
And it's like that miracle in the Bible. You start with a couple fishes, and next thing you know, you got 5,000, and you don't know what to do with them. It's amazing. Okay, there's a little more work going on here than that, but... I'm just saying, it's so much fun, and I really liked it.
It's the Rosenberg effect.
It's the Rosenberg effect.
Or principle, my bad.
The Rosenberg
I like effect better than principle.
Yeah, it's probably more of an effect. Yeah. So, but I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's a different theme than what he's always done, because usually you've got your cows and your grain, and you've got, all of his usual stuff. his little pumpkins. You can even recognize the bits, and you're like, okay, that's a Rosenberg game. Don't know which one necessarily, because several of them have the little pumpkin or whatever. But now you have fish. And I think this one would be relatively easy to upgrade, because it's got the little wood bits, and then these adorable little blue fish, okay? I think this one actually really doesn't need tricking up unless you just don't like the little wooden bits, but I think they're adorable.
You don't like the what about the microscopic money?
The money, yeah, no.
That's a coin.
Yeah.
The reason they do that so because you have to put them on tiny little boards is the reason they can make the money so small.
But at the same time,
microscopic money.
Like, I wouldn't be able to pick them up with my stupid nails right now, and I would just.
That's a 1 coin.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That part's weird. But then here's the little plate. Here's the little dinner table, and you have your little elders sit across on here. I don't know why it cracks me up. I'm just like, all these salty sea dogs come to sit at the table like, let me tell you the best place to go fishing. And you're like, here, have some fish. Tell me more. Tell me more, smart sir. Your wisdom of all these wonderful fishery things. No, this game's just fun. I just find it to be a blast. So there you go. Nusfjord. Try it out.
Not Oldsfjord. Nusfjord.
That's right. Oh, why?
My number 2! We're getting to the good ones. My number 2 has been mentioned. It is Glass Road.
This one.
So Rebecca didn't even mention my favorite part of this game.
What's your favorite
part of this game is you have a hand of cards. They're basically your actions. They're called specialists.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
You're going to have a hand of these, and you're going to play one secretly. And everyone else plays one secretly. And then you reveal, and if you're the only person that played that guy that turn, you get a superpower. Otherwise, you get a crappy power. So it's good. So you got to kind of predict what everyone else is doing and what order they're doing. And you may really, really want to do something that turn, but you know that another player is going to do it too. You're like, oh, can I hold off a turn and wait and do it some other time? But if I do it now, it'll also make his power weak as well. I love this game.
Yep, I forgot about that. That is fun. Because that's that little mind game. The little mind game. Oh, really? I bet he's going to want to produce this turn. Well, I can make sure he does less. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good one.
I love Glass Road. This is
a good game.
And this one's really fast.
Yep.
This is super fast. It's got that cool resource management thing where you're trying to get lots of resources, but you may not want some of those specialty resources, so you got to kind of balance what you're doing. Oh,
that's good stuff.
Great game.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Love me some. I can't believe I waited so long. We just got this in June. I can't believe I waited so long to get it. I don't know why.
Maybe we thought it was a longer game than
I don't know.
It appeared to be. I don't know. That is weird.
Maybe it was like... Well, maybe not, because it says also an excellent 2-player game.
What?
Glass Road. If you haven't played it, you like Uwe games, you owe it to yourself to try this one.
That one's worth it.
It's a good one.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. All right. So now we're on to my numero dos, which happens to be mentioned before. I like vegetables. I do. And I
find it interesting the 2 lightest of the agriculture games are at the top in your top 3.
I know. I don't know what it is. They're strangely addictive. As soon as I'm done with these games, I want to play them again. Which, with bigger games like that, I don't tend to do. So maybe it is the lightness factor. I don't know. There's just something about them. And again, it's... I don't remember if I pulled these out or not. But, I mean, come on now. Lettuce! Okay? Cauliflower! Look at the carrots! It's little. They're even more colorful and adorable than his usual little bits. Okay. Oh yep, and the squashy looking weird tomatoes. Those are cool. Those are cool. Oh, the nasty looking little mushrooms. I'm just kidding. I'm not a fan of mushrooms, but they're adorable in here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Little mushrooms. Okay, is that everybody? You get the idea. The art in this is ridiculous. The pieces are beautiful.
Hector, when I said Reykholt, he said he was horrible, and now he's saying it's a great game.
Troll. But yeah, it's such a fun game. I like this game. It's just such a mind game, too, of when to plant, when to harvest, when to... cycle through, and the worker placement part of it's really fun too, because you've got a lot of options. There aren't really any bad options per se, but bad for you timing wise, definitely the case. Like, all the choices are really good, but you may not need to do that yet, and it might throw off your whole timing machine you've got built.
Do you think the reason you like this so much is because it's super puzzly?
Could be.
It's like, I got to get 4 of these, and then I need 4 of those, and then I need 5 of these.
I have
how am I going
I
to get that? How am I going to get to that point? Okay, I need to go to that worker placement spot. I need to harvest over here. I need to get another thing. It's very puzzly, because it's all about progressing. It's basically almost like climbing a ladder, right?
Yeah.
Each rung, you have to do something different.
And I've noticed that seems to be a lot with a lot of the worker placements, is they have some little puzzly thing you have to pick when you plan blah 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 to go where you need to go and win and all that kind of stuff. And this game, that's like all it is planning that stuff out. And you're right, the puzzle part of it is just, it's a blast. And it's a cute little garden, not a theme that you see a lot of. That's the other thing. I mean, we have farming ones and all this other stuff, but this is just a cute little garden. And I thought that was cool. So, there you go.
Welcome to those joining, goodbye to those that have left.
And Tim and Ryan, you're never late. You arrive precisely when you mean to, because you're wizards.
Reykholt, it's alright.
What? You did not say that.
And now we've come to the moment we've all been waiting for, the best Uwe Rosenberg game. So, this past weekend, I was making my list.
Were you?
I was making my list.
Checking it twice?
And I was looking at my top 2 or 3, and I'm like, I haven't played this game in a long time. We need to pull it out and play it. So we played it this last weekend. It is far and away my favorite Uwe game. Second place is like way back in the rearview mirror of the race. It's like way back. Number 1, no discussion.
It's all right.
It is the best. It is Laha.
It's like number 4 good.
No, it's like number 1 good. So, we played it this last weekend. We played the long version for the first time ever, as far as I know, as far as I recall.
No, it is. It's the first time.
Oh, it's so much better in the long game, because
you actually can do stuff.
when we got to round 7, when you play the long game, it's 14 for 2 players. It's 14 rounds. Yeah. The short game is 7 rounds. When we got to the 7 rounds, we'd barely done anything. And then we get to, by the round 14, we're doing all these cool things. I'm doing shipping. We're buying all these extra boats. We're doing all these, creating these specialty buildings. Oh, so much. It took it to 11.
Took it to 11.
But the main reason I like this game is, of all his games that I've played, and I've played almost all of them. There's a few of the older ones that are out of print that we haven't played. But we played most of them.
Okay.
Other than the 3,000 versions of Bonanza. We haven't played 3,000 versions of Bonanza. But this is, I think, of all his games, the most economic of all the games. Most economic. This one has the most of resource. It has tons of resource management, tons of different resources, tons of different options, tons of different ways to play the game. You have the feed your people thing. You can do it with just food. You can make all kinds of food, or you can buy boats that are like permanent food. You can eventually build up and you're shipping goods for money. And the whole point is whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins.
Math nerd. Oh, hey. Excuse me.
This game is amazing.
No, the math nerd in you just rejoices a little bit every time playing this.
This game is I will not play the short game again.
What? What if we don't have time?
We're not playing it. Because think about when we got to turn 7, how little we have done. We only had a handful of buildings. We
barely mess with the steel. We don't build.
We had only a handful of buildings built.
We built. I think
we had
buildings.
one or two boats.
Yeah.
Constructed.
Yep. We only had a couple.
We hadn't done any shipping at all.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's a completely different game.
It is. And again, because we actually had time to get into the Rosenberg effect, we did build every single stinking building.
Every building except for a couple of the specialty buildings.
That went down into... Oh, well, yeah, the specialty buildings. There was like 1 or 2 buildings that didn't get purchased in time that actually got sent down to the
town. Basically, the town constructs them, and then you have to pay cash for them, and that's not always a good move to pay cash.
We did
for buildings.
Buy some, but yeah, it was amazing how much more production actually occurred in that. It was pretty cool.
This game
It's
is
a good game.
awesome.
There you go. My number one has been mentioned before too, and I'm skipping back and forth. Where did it end up? I think it's over here.
Is it it?
It is. As in my.
I never even put Le Havre down. I was so excited to talk about it. I didn't even move it over.
Wow.
Look, it's Le Havre at the bottom of the screen now, right?
Too bad.
Over here. Wait, Le Havre is where is it? It's right there. Le Havre was my number one.
This game's better.
And now we'll do Rebecca's.
It's better.
It's a good one.
Yep. So, this one, Le Havre solo. Very cool. Ora Labora.
And?
I know Smokey. He agonizes me too. But yes, this game is just heavy-duty greatness. And kind of for the same reasons that Hunter likes Le Havre, but for me, this is the puzzly, watch the resources, keep track of all of that, I don't know what it is about that. I really enjoy that, and I really enjoy all the different... There's a ridiculous number of combinations of the buildings. What?
Excuse you.
Of all the different buildings that you can build, which... Oi, I say. Where the cards... Oh, that's right. The cards... I wish they were a little bit bigger. But there's a billion of them, and you're going to have them scattered all over the place. But... You can look at these and see, like, here's a round tower. There's a bulwark, a festival ground, a sacristy, cooperage, a castle, grand manor, and all of these do different things. It's kind of the if-thans. If you buy this, then, you're going to get, you get to build at the castle, build one of your own settlements. This one gives you resources once around. This one you can trade in resources and get a stupid amount of victory points. But again, they're difficult to make for different reasons. And you have different conditions and stuff. Like you have to have a certain score and this and that to get through those buildings. It's pretty cool. And I like the variety. I like the puzzly aspect to it. I like the fact that there's a lot of busy things going... Oops, hey, thank you. Going on with it. You still have sheep, and if you flip them over, you've got lamb chops. And so they've got the two-sided thing going. Again, the art on this isn't so great, but the cards have that cute art, and I really like the little... I don't want to say it's cartoony, but it kind of is cartoony art for his little farms and whatnot. I like the art on the cards. So it's just a pretty game. It takes a lot of thinking through the puzzles and trying to get it going, but again, you can really get a really good engine for the Rosenberg effect. I'm using that from now on. That's a thing.
So Sorrow Song said she was looking for Mercator.
Oh, I have not played
Mercator? We have not played it.
That's older one, isn't it?
I believe that's one of his really older ones, and it's out of print, so we haven't played it.
Someday.
I probably should track it down. Because
track it down
Labora was out of print when we bought it, too, so we probably should track that one down.
We should track that one down. It sounds awesome. Now, we have...
Mercator?
Yeah, we have some... I went ahead and ranked all of them, and honestly, I told you already about Agricola. The only other game that it's not that I don't like it, but if I had it, I would probably choose something else, is this one. This is the 2-player, only the quick game for Le Havre. And Hunter and I both looked at each other after playing this, we're like, I'd rather just play Le Havre.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, when we got this, it was like a taste of Le Havre, but not all of the good stuffs that Le Havre has to offer.
It's alright.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. And if you don't want to play a full game of Le Havre, it's kind of fun to have a taste of it. I get that. But for us, it was like, no. The rest of them, I love. And I know people are waiting for it. Hunter's favorite games. Okay. Okay, spoilers on this. I actually like my first Bonanza a teensy bit more than the regular Bonanza. I know that sounds crazy, but they're really fun. I enjoy playing these as a group. This, though, is such a great introduction to Bonanza. This is a really good game, and it was fun. Nessa got into it. This was one of the first games she started to strategize on her own. and it's really cool to watch the wheels grinding, you know, as they start to figure out how to play this game. And it doesn't dumb the game down. It's still got quite a bit of strategy and stuff to it, and still has the Bonanza feel to it. So, yeah, if you guys like this one and you have kiddos, you might want to look at this. This is a really good game. I really liked it. And I don't know what it is. I like card games. I like planting the stupid beans, whatever. The art's ridiculous. But I love the strategy in this game. And I like that you just flip the cards over and that's the coins. So you keep track of it. You don't have a bunch of extra junk. You really don't need all of this nonsense. I mean, look, it's cards. You could throw all of this into a baggie. That's all a bunch of cards. That's all it is. That's it. Cards. Don't need this. This is a big box. It's ridiculous. And this one I think even has a... Yeah, this... Even though my first Bonanza, it's the same thing. It's just a bunch of cards.
You have the little boards, though, you play with.
Oh, this one has the little boards. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That they fold up the
They
fields.
just help you show your... You have your two fields, and then you buy
cute.
a third field.
It's nice, but you don't really need them. You could just make... I don't know. It's a decision. But it's nice to keep them in the box, because obviously they're protected. But I love those. And Hunter's not going to say anything, because he's very mad. Alright, so let me talk about...
Let's just say that my number 10, which was Reykholt, the drop from 10 to 11 is massive.
What's your 11?
It's dropped so much I don't even
you don't even rank
I don't
them.
even care.
Wow.
Probably my 11 would be
Nope.
No. My 11 might be Agricola.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
Which I'll talk about in a minute.
Okay. Cottage Garden. I love the art. It's got kitties. Okay. That's pretty cool. It sold me on it. But this is kind of fun. I have not played the other... Don't they have some
autumn something or other, and
summer,
spring
and
something or other? I don't know.
Those. They look like more of the same, but the art is gorgeous, and I love these. I think they're fun. It's just the other ones have a little more meat and stuff to them. Yeah, Spring Meadow, Indian Summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're cool games. I really, really like them. It just, they didn't quite make the top 10 was all. So that was the only thing with that. I love those. So I want to see. And then our other two, these were our two more of our go-to two-player games. Of course, we have Patchwork, which we played the tar out of for a very long time, and Cave versus Cave, which kind of helped save Caverna for us in the meantime until we got that cool insert.
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. This is another one. It's really good, but it's really light.
Yeah.
You're focusing really only on the cave part. Of course, cave versus cave. But
my favorite part is the whole animals thing.
Yeah, it takes out the animals, and that's like, yeah, it's his favorite thing. You still have some tricked up rooms, and you have room combos, and you have to dig into the mine and actually dig out a space to make a room. But like all the fun of compiling all the resources, they got rid of that because you just have a little scale that's
resource
measured,
track,
and you just
yeah.
resource track, and you just move one piece up. Okay, I get it. I know it's trying to be condensed and this and that, but it kind of took the fun nonsense out that we like and took it out of it to streamline it. So it's a fun game, but if you get the chance to play the other stuff. And then Patchwork is like the original easy, fun little go-to two-player game where Hunter actually builds his quilt in 20 minutes versus, you know, his 200-year quilt that he wants to build and feast for Odin. I still like this game a lot. This one's a great one to introduce to people that have not played. But again, it's a two-player. This is set up as a two-player game, so if you're wanting to teach a lot of people, you'll probably end up teaching and then having to sit it out because it's only a two-player. But it's fun. I like the fact that time is one of your...
It's a resource,
yeah, it's a resource in this game. That doesn't happen a lot. So, there you go.
Alright, so the one game that we've played that we do not own is Agricola. Agricola is a lot of people's favorite Uwe Rosenberg game. Here's the thing. I almost want to go back and play it again. Because, like Rebecca mentioned in passing, we had a couple of poor play experiences from Agricola.
And it wasn't really the game. That's the bad
It
spot.
wasn't, well, it was part the game and part...
Our game group.
I don't know if you've ever played with people who think there is a perfect way to play a game. And if you go outside that perfect way of playing, they think you are playing the game wrong.
And they'll tell you.
That was our Agricola experience.
Yeah. So
maybe we should go back and revisit it. But the one thing I remember in playing, besides that experience, is Agricola kind of seems like it railroads you into you're struggling to feed your people.
Yeah.
You're struggling to get, if you don't do this like blueprint of things you have to do. Like you have to have like a certain number of this, a certain number of these, a certain number of those, a certain number of those. If you don't kind of meet that blueprint of what you're doing, you're going to lose lots of points. Mm-hmm. This is just my memory because we haven't played it since. It was been 10 years probably since we've played Agricola.
Close to it, yeah.
10? I don't know.
Close to it.
Long time. I don't know. It's way back.
Yep.
So it.
Gaming wife.
But when the Caverna came out, it's like, okay, this is what.
And that's what Paul's saying.
What I liked. It took everything I did not like about Agricola. Yeah. And it kind of opened up the game to me. So you in Agricola you do have to do. I mean, in Caverna you have to do a little bit of everything. But once you do those little bits of everything, you can focus in on doing tons of animals or building up your adventurers or do the mining thing. There's lots of different ways that you can play. Where Agricola is like you have to do this, you have to build this to get this, to build this to get this, and then you have to have 17 of these and 4 of those and 8 of these. This is just my memory from when we played.
Yeah.
And on top of that, all that frustration of having to do all this thing, someone was like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that. You should have done this over here." And I'm like, okay, I'm struggling to play the game, and I'm being told I'm an idiot for not playing it a certain way.
Way to go, idiot!
So, when Caverna came along, it was like a breath of fresh air, and it was like didn't even for all those reasons I didn't want to go back to play Agricola. All that said,
we need to revisit.
I would be interested in trying the new revised edition, just the base game, not any of the frills and extras that Agricola has. Tons of cards and tons of expansions.
Unnecessary.
I want to try that again after experiencing all his other games to go back to kind of the first one. So
there you go. I like it. Hector, yeah, I never really noticed that, but you're totally right about the little, I guess you're right, they're Easter eggs, so to speak. He's got little nods to different things with the religious theme and whatnot, and there's kind of cutesy little church things. It's funny. And Paul, you're totally right. Like, Caverna is so good, and I feel like it streamlines a lot of the things that Agricola had. That it's like,
but then again, I'd rather go back with open. What am I looking forward? With like a
totally open mind about it.
Open mind. That's what I'm looking at. Open. I want to play it again with an open mind, with not the pressures of the people we were playing with.
Yeah, that would be fun. So, yep. Anywho, but I think, oh yes, and sorry Paul, we don't want to cook our veggies in the oven. We want to grow them in the garden, which is why that 2-player game does not work, okay? But yeah, it's fun. There's Uwe Rosenberg. A good chunk of his games anyway.
A good chunk of his games. Big chunk of his games. Other than, like I said, there's like
some of the older
17 versions of Bonanza.
Which I had no idea. Hunter hid this information from me. Apparently for a reason. I'm like, I must have all the bonanzas. No, I won't go that crazy. But yeah, except for some of the old ones. So hopefully if you haven't seen some of these before, you'll go try them out. Or if you like Uwe and want to try a different difficulty rating, or try the ones that are a little puzzly versus...
So do you have your list in front of you? Let me see your list. I'm curious what would be the mathematical best game between our two.
Oh, between the two? Here, you can look at it, math boy. It's all you.
Keep chatting. I'll tell you what our...
While Hunter does some nerdy math things. So, I saw some people saying, hey, this is probably my favorite Uwe and stuff, but throw down, what is your favorite Uwe real quick? Do you guys agree? Do you like the same ones? Dan, are you saying Ora Labora is your favorite?
Well, that's he's got the right answer. Ora Labora is our top game.
Yep.
If we combined our list, that would be our number one game.
Yep. Look at you.
We are not going to the Dice Tower retreat because school. I would be there.
What does that mean?
It's all her fault.
Oh my gosh, you can go. Oh wait, you don't have any vacation time.
No, I'm on vacation. That's right. But yeah, we're hoping. I mean, I keep begging Tom and Kenny and everyone to move it to a more friendly time. But I think a lot of it has to do with cost, because during summer break, spring break, and Christmas break,
everything is
all the hotels go up, all the conference room prices, everything increases, and it's just not cost efficient for the Dice Tower, especially since they.
Yeah.
It's cost efficient to do it.
Okay, couple questions. Hector's asking, did you hear a sneaky announcement about Dice Tower East on breakfast this week?
No, I didn't hear that.
Tell us about the sneaky announcement.
What sneaky announcement?
And then while you're writing that, New Troll, his most thematic game.
Ooh. None.
What? That's not true. Patchwork? No, just kidding. Actually, Patchwork, oddly enough, is quite thematic because those darn buttons and sewing those up takes time. Now,
you know what's funny? What's funny is it.
Nusfjord.
No, I was gonna say Reykholt, because it's so streamlined and simple. It doesn't go do a lot of weird things.
When you harvest,
you basically have greenhouses, and you're planting and harvesting, and then you're feeding, you're holding a banquet or something. But they're really, honestly, they're all probably even. I wouldn't think there's none of them jump out and go, ooh, that's really thematic.
They're more thematic than Feld's overall, but you're right. It's kind of a focusing lens.
Oh, I didn't know he was talking about what I said. Yes, we're going to Dice Tower Con next year.
Yes.
So we've.
I did not want to miss out on it, but I had.
So
all these trips happening this summer.
I missed Dice Tower Con for
2 years.
2 years now because I got a promotion at work, and that week of the Dice Tower, the first week of every month is like the worst possible time for me to take time off. But my boss took that week off, and I said, "Hey, if you could take that week off, I can take that week off." No, she actually said that I could take the week.
I like how you made it.
I may have to do some logging in while we're there.
Whatever. We spent a year where we spent the day like at Disney and then spent the night doing Dice Tower. So I
may have to log in occasionally to check in on things at work. But yes, we're going to Dice Tower Con next year. That's the plan. So we're doing the cruise. The plan going forward is to do the cruise and Dice Tower Con each year. And then the retreat will be a maybe if it's scheduled at a decent time.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. That one's going to be hard. So we'll see. And for me, it depends on the numbers. If he keeps it small and cute, I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear the feedback from this year's Dice Tower retreat because they bumped it up to 200 people, I think. And they're only doing one week. They're not doing 2 weeks. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm curious how that's going to go because it was just really cool. Because by the time when we went for the week that we went,
for the 50-person one,
we almost played a game with everyone there at some point.
It seems like we had played with a lot of people there.
So there.
Yeah. That's cool. I want to actually get to know everybody. That was fun. So yeah, we've chatted like way over. Not that I care, because it was pretty awesome. But hopefully you guys got lots of interesting information and stuff. Clearly bean farming. Yes, the bean farming is the most thematic.
So next week is really going to be the resolution update.
We're going to play all these games.
So we got a resolution update next week. Then we have another resolution update 2 weeks from then. And then the following week is the massive culling.
That's too soon.
Massive culling.
No, it's not that
About
massive.
A month from now, we're going to go through every game that we didn't play in our collection. We don't know what the resolution is. We just made a resolution to play all our games in 1 year. We're going to fall somewhere between, I'm guessing, 80 and 60 short of playing all our games. And then we're going to go through all the games that we didn't play quickly, because there's a lot of them. And we're going to decide Keep or Coal?
And this is going to be funny because you wanted to save a whole bunch of your favorite games for last, so we'd be like, yeah.
Well, some of those are going to be like, we love this game, next. It's...
Yeah.
But I'm thinking...
Chat votes on the massive culling.
I'm thinking, my gut tells me out of the games that we do not play, there's probably going to be 20-ish games that we get rid of.
Yeah, I believe that.
20-ish
I believe that.
games.
I believe that. I believe that.
So,
I believe it.
there you go. So, thanks for sticking with us. Sorry about the confusion on the videos. I totally got it in my head that this was the top 10 week and not the resolution week.
Uwe's the coolest.
But you got a free top 10 list.
That wasn't free. I had to work for that.
Free.
You had to work so hard, you're a week ahead of time. That'll teach you.
TI4, we play, well, spoiler, we played TI4, so. All right. Let's get out of here.
A lovely, lovely evening / day.
We'll see you
whenever
next
you're watching
week.
this. See you soon.
Same
peeps.
bat time, same bat channel.
Bye.